Ready.
We're going live. Hi, this is Let's Chat with Betty Washam. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this evening. I actually have a good friend that I've been talking with for a couple of weeks now. We've done an interview once before. He done one with me. His name is Ian Summerell, and we're actually doing this Skype, but you guys can't see me, so I'm doing it through my radio station. So I'm going to let Ian introduce himself to you guys, and then we are gonna jump right into some things that we want to discuss that he brought to my attention, and what I think, asking him about the Great Britain and stuff. So go ahead and take the floor, Ian.
Hello, Betty. I'm Ian Summerall. I'm 62 this year. I'm a gunsmith by trade. I had a couple of years out of the trade after we had the pistol ban in the UK because the trade went as flat as a pancake, and unfortunately I had to pay my mortgage. So I had a couple of other jobs. I had a couple of factory jobs, making kitchens and making car parts. And then I became a civil servant for 6 years. That was an education.
I bet.
I was only in the mail room and looking after the files, but it allowed me to see the whole of the operation and to see how it worked. And I had more of an insight of the civil service than if I was stuck in one of the offices.
Right.
And that was a real eye-opener.
I bet.
To see the office infighting was so gentlemanly being British, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh, I can believe it. You know how I know that they are.
Um,
So the things I wanted to ask you about that we had talked a little bit about, and we're gonna jump right into it. How has our election and everything after our election affected the world, even including where you are, you know? And you had sent me back some information on that, and I wanted to touch base on that. Um, how it has affected you guys and stuff in different ways.
okay,
Um,
okay, so let's start there. The
yeah. I'm gonna go through here, and I see, and I'm gonna ask you something about this.
okay,
Top secret stamps, sign it UK eyes only. What is that about?
I
And
will. Let's take it. Let's take it one at a time. We'll do that in a second. Um, when the election was happening, we had the BBC reporting on Hillary's side and on the Trump side, and all
mhm.
the way through, it was Trump was going to lose. Hillary was going to win. It was hers. She didn't have to do anything. But I
Wow.
was watching it, and I was with the rednecks. I was
Here's
make
what
American
happens.
great again. And my friends were all backing Trump because I went to Yavapai College in Arizona, in Prescott, in Arizona, 20 years ago, and I lectured there. And I have a few friends on Facebook who were gunsmiths there, and they were all
Oh,
backing Trump. I then interviewed Diamond and Silk
you did. I
before
love
they
them.
became famous.
I remember before they became famous. I
Yeah.
love them.
I was emailing them backwards and forwards, saying that they're doing the right thing and keep it up, and we hope that their man wins, and I'm getting on the Trump train and all this sort of thing. They were just so entertaining, and they just spoke the truth. They hit the
Hmm.
nail on the head every time.
Right.
But the BBC was, oh, Hillary was going to win, Hillary was going to win, and when Trump won, they didn't know what to say.
I bet not.
They didn't have a clue. Then you can see them actually running round trying to find out what the narrative is that they got to go with. And if you watch the news at the time, you can see them. They were just stunned.
They're frantic, stunned, and they were like, I mean, I could see every reporter going, I can't believe this is happening. People were crying at the Hillary Clinton thing. We were cheering. We were praying. I prayed so hard that night. I did more than I've ever prayed in my life because our actual country depended on it. Like we wasn't playing around. Like we stood up. Even the silent majority stood up and said, I'm voting for Trump. We're tired of this. But now imagine the corruption. Now imagine, I told you, we probably would have been just sent right to FEMA camps. That's what we would have been done. And then work slave labor. We were already sold. America was sold. Yeah. So go ahead. I get on my rants, but go ahead.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. I haven't started yet. So then Trump's won. He's in the White House. Now, my friends are telling me that Trump's got the bases covered and that he's putting out fake information within the White House to find out who's leaking it. Because you've now got Obama people in the White House trying to do what they can to get rid of Trump. Yes. That was in the first couple of months.
Yeah, oh gosh, yes.
Right? And I think your Hillary supporters have come up with everything they can, apart from throwing the kitchen sink at Trump.
He could shit diamonds, and this is no crap. He could shit diamonds. Trump could, and they would just say, I don't like the color, just because it's Trump.
Yeah.
But once they find out all of the good things, you know, and he's taking down all these pedal rings and all of this stuff. I mean, we've got so much human trafficking that he's arrested in the first year, more than any president in the United States history, you know, that is making America great again. Our economic growth is just amazing, you know, and it's pouring over to other countries like yours, you know, but he has to fight everybody to get something done. It's the most, I mean, I'd never seen it. I was shocked. And when Hillary came and tweeted about the Russia and conspiracy with Trump, when she tweeted that day, I thought, no, bitch, that's you. Now you're telling on yourself, but we're going to go through this witch hunt until it gets told on you. Right. You know, until it comes
my
back
turn now. When they came up with that, it's almost as if the people that I would call them fifth columnists that are embedded within the American government and judiciary then had to come up with the proof that it was the Russians. Everything was the Russians.
What made them think? What made them think it? What? How? And the reason, I think the reason that she thought, or she said the Russians, that Hillary Clinton said it before, you know, the election was, you know, done with or anything, is because she didn't want it to go back to her. So she thought, well, we'll just throw it on Trump now. You see what I'm saying? And then when she found, when it came down to it, she was actually, you know, selling our uranium one and all this stuff and just all this crazy stuff. And here Trump the whole time's innocent.
Yeah. And then
I knew he was innocent.
And then we come on to the FISA warrants.
Yeah.
And the piece of paper that I gave you, the letter. Now, the letter is from the director of GCHQ. GCHQ is our spy office.
Oh.
Something like the CIA would have. But it's that...
Like the clowns in America?
Yeah, it's our spy office. And yes, we spy on them and they spy on us. But what was wrong, and if I was in charge of the government, I would be very ashamed of what we did. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, it just went quiet.
Yeah, because I can see that it was to help the deep state.
Yes. The director of GCHQ wrote to the Foreign Secretary, Boris Johnson, to spy or surveil on 2 floors of Trump Tower. On the 5th, and it says there, the 5th floor of the 5th floor, and it says the other floor there, 26th, 5th and 26th floor.
The 5th floor and the 26th floors.
Now, I don't know who's on there. You'd have to find out, but presumably it's the Trump team.
One of us is his
But
attorney.
what gets me is
Or hang
how
on,
does
I
my
just seen that.
government, now I'm
I just
ranting
seen
now,
that.
hang on a minute, I'm ranting now. How
Hang
does
on.
our government come off spying on...
See, it's tuning you out.
how does how does our government come off spying on one side against the other?
Because the deep state is involved with your government so hardcore. You know, I mean, the Illuminati is your government. It was ours too until Trump got it.
I can't disagree with you.
And now look at this. I mean, it's in black and white, you know, written to spy on, you know, Trump.
But
And
the guy that wrote the letter, he resigned in January of 2017.
yeah.
So, was the reply from Boris in the negative? Did Boris refuse it?
No, he didn't refuse it.
I don't know the answer to that because I haven't seen it.
No, he didn't refuse it because it said they're going to continue their surveillance during
Yeah.
the transition period.
Yeah.
And internal U.S. intelligence is potentially compromised by the incoming Trump administration.
Yeah.
So meaning the whole time, even though he's president, they were going to continue to spy on him.
And it was the UN National Secretary Advisor Rice, whoever Rice is.
Susan Rice.
Susan Rice, right. So that she's got something to answer.
Oh yes, she's in those Q drops I told you that I get all the time, you know, and decode them and stuff. There's a lot of people that's got a lot of things to answer to. I mean, and it's finally coming to light, and thank God, because we have to get all this corruption out of the world. We don't deserve this. You guys don't deserve to live how you guys are living, in corruption, and they tell you what to do. They tell you whether you can have a gun. You know, you guys are living in communism.
Don't talk to me about gun control.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't want to live under one new world order, and we all agree, you know.
Yeah. If you talk about gun control and knife control, I am being ethnically cleansed by my government. I've had pistols taken from me by my government. I now can't carry a knife in public. And I make knives, and they've now got a new proposal through that you're not allowed to post a knife by mail.
Oh my. So just everything. Everything.
Yeah.
They're taking away all your rights. That's what they try to do here. But we stand up to them.
Well, we keep hearing on the BBC that gun crime's gone up in the capital and knife crime's gone up in the capital, and their only solution is more control and more power. Well, if the power that they've got isn't working,
we need to try a new remedy
can't
there.
they think of some other way of sorting it out? Because if you bring in gun controls, it's only the people who apply for licenses that are going to apply with the law. Criminals, being outside the law, never got a license to get a gun in the first place.
Yeah, and that's how it is here.
Banning a gun, stop them getting a gun. It just
no, they walked around the street corner and got one easy.
It just doesn't work. You know.
It just doesn't. It doesn't work. I mean, I know. I'm just like the way that people think nowadays is I believe that half of the world has like seriously been so programmed they've lost their minds. Like their minds have went that way to the programming, and then the ones like us that are awake, they think we're the crazy ones when we're the ones, and we have to live through it, and we're thinking, oh my God, this is really happening. Oh my God, how are we going to tell people? How are people going to listen to us? How are they going to know that we're telling the truth? You know, how are we going to prove this? Everybody needs to know this. And that's when we start digging. That's when we start researching. That's when we're like, we got to have proof. They just can't go off of what we say.
Yeah, well, everybody out there is sort of beginning to wake up, but it's taking time. And what we need is that critical mass.
I mean, it's got to be worldwide. It's going to be
Yeah,
worldwide.
it's got
It's
to be.
you know,
That's why
it's go
we've got to keep talking.
yeah,
If we can
yeah,
keep talking across the pond and finding things out and sharing things. Of
right.
course, some of the people in what they call the truth media are not all they seem.
No, they lie as much as they do.
About
It's
90
like,
percent.
did you hear about yeah, about 90. Did you hear that Q dropped something and he said left is right. He said left is right and left is left. Nobody could figure that out, and I did.
Yeah,
Okay, here's right, which is us. Then you've got a supposed to be right, which is actually he goes over and B's
yeah,
right, but it's always really going to be left.
yeah.
Left is left.
Well, what you've got is to be politically popular. They say a politician's got to be middle of the road. He's got to be a little bit right, a bit liberal.
Right.
Well, the problem is where we had right wing and left wing. I'm sorry about using labels, but it's
I
the
don't care.
easiest way to explain
I
it.
don't care.
Right? What they've done is they've made the right wing fairies. They've made them softies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of being right wing, not nationalists, I'm not talking about nationalists, I'm talking about being a Tory, being pro business, pro the individual, less government, less taxes so people can spend, so people can get jobs. That's conservatism as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But under Cameron and the conservative governments we had after Maggie Thatcher, and in fact, some of Maggie Thatcher's ministers were left-wing Tories. Because
So
they
what
got
do you
us
mean by
deeper and deeper into Europe.
So what do you mean by the left wing and the right wing? Because here we're the right wings, okay, and then the deep state is the left wings. That's how we've always said it. So
Yeah,
I don't know that.
the way I would say it was Hillary would be left-wing.
Yes,
They call them progressives.
yes, progressives.
They're
Yes,
socialists.
yes, socialist. Yes,
Communist is another word.
yes,
But
yes.
they've all got different labels. But
Right.
basically, the state can control everything and should
Yes.
know what it was doing. That's
Yes.
what I call the left.
Yes.
Marxists, Trotskyites, all
Yeah.
those labels.
Everything they call us is what
Yeah.
they really are. Seriously,
But-
because we're not even what's that called, racist and stuff. We're not bigots. I don't even know where those words came from.
But it's to demonize us.
Oh, I
That's
see.
what it's for. You see, the first thing, after JFK, they called us conspiracy theorists.
Yes.
If we
yes,
came up
that's
with
what-
the idea that it was more than one shooter, or that there was more than two bullets.
Mhm. Yep.
And we still don't know. But what they
Oh, yes,
did
they did.
is they put out a lot of disinformation
No,
to hide the
Trump,
real information, whatever the real information was.
you don't know now? Trump put that out a long time ago. That was the first thing he did, was open up the documentation of the JFK murder files. It's actually a George W. Bush Sr. that did it, head of CIA. Remember we talked about this last time? You know, that's the one that, you know, had it done. And it was because he had shut down the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is the Rothschilds and things like that. We didn't need it in America. We weren't even in debt. And he said, we don't need that. And then it was like a month later, he was knocked off because they wanted us to have that, to depend on them to be in debt. You know, and that the Federal Reserve, we never needed the Federal Reserve. And if we could get rid of the Federal Reserve, I think that would be the best thing we could ever do, is get rid of the Federal Reserve. Or get rid of the people running the damn Federal Reserve for the last 220,000 years. You know, maybe get new people, I guess, if you want a Federal Reserve. But, I mean, talk about cleaning house. Trump has had to have all the house cleaned in the White House. He's knew who was leakers and who was this and that through the whole thing. You know, but he let them hang themselves. He let them make fools out of themselves. He did. He showed and gave them a chance, and then they made fools out of themselves. And they're the ones that came out looking like the ass.
Yeah.
They're the ones that came out looking who they were, which was liars. I mean, just plain out liars,
Yeah.
you know? And so he takes $1 a year to do this.
Well, the thing is, what we've got in Britain, we've got the Bank of England. We've also got the Mile, which is the London city centre. And the Mile has the guilds. And the guilds control things. The gold price is organised daily by the committee in London, in central London, each day.
So what you're telling me is you actually are living in a communist country right now. It's became communist after they came into...
I'm not saying it's communist. I haven't got a label for that. But
I'm saying
business...
it then.
Okay,
You can't label it. I'll label it as... I allegedly think you live communism compared to what the United States lives right now.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. The guys in London meet once a day and they determine what the gold price is going to be, if it's going up or going down. So if they're controlling the gold price, are they not also controlling the stock market?
Yes, and they're controlling all of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Japan.
Well, you know, that's why, remember Mark Zuckerberg, and which you sent me something on that too from WikiLeaks, which I would like to, address on that as well. But he was dumping his stock for like 2 months straight. I mean, as fast as he could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Mark Zuckerberg sold his shares before all the scandal came out.
Well,
so
because
he knew it was going to happen.
Well, yeah, and that's why the Rothschilds sold, their land and their hunting grounds of 145 years and stuff, because everything's going to be ceased, and bank accounts are going to be frozen when they go down for the pedivore stuff.
Well, there's a thing in Europe where they put through a law, a dictate, or whatever you want to call it, talking about communism. You want to talk about the EU. The Parliament discusses things and only rubber stamps what the commissioners have already put forward. The EU commissioners create the law, and the European Parliament rubber stamp it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
the Parliament doesn't create the law; the commissioners do. So that is communism. If there is anything.
Everything I see that you're telling me, allegedly, as I say, allegedly is communism, and it's headed our way, and that's why, see, you guys are always 7 years ahead of us on things. And I remember I used to buy something because, it came from London and Paris and Great Britain and all that 7 years before it came here, and then it was just great. And then now we're looking, and I'm saying, if we don't get this shit cleaned up within 5 years, we're going to crumble, we're going to fall, and there's no going to be America at all. It's going to be just one world country like they want. And then people are going to be eating people like that's what they do, babies.
Well, I hope that we come out of the EU. That's the first thing. Then we can trade with the rest of the world. Because at the moment, if we want to trade with our friends, like Australia and New Zealand, which we've done for the last 150 years, we've got to pay a tariff on stuff coming in from Australia and New Zealand, and that's part of the Commonwealth.
Right.
That was part of the empire, but that's gone now. So it's now the Commonwealth. But we're a group of friendly nations. We've given them back their democracy.
Right.
So you've got India, Pakistan, Jamaica, Bermuda, and they're all in the Commonwealth. South Africa is in the Commonwealth. But South Africa is now going the other way. Where you had white supremacy and they were putting down the blacks, it's actually
Hmm.
flipped the other way now, and the blacks are now
Yeah,
suppressing the whites.
yeah.
And that doesn't make it
They have
right.
them as slaves. They have them as slaves as well.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
make it
confusing.
right.
And
And
then the Africans are also being slaves to the Arabics. And I tell you what, one time I seen this thing that came on Facebook. It was a video of this guy. He was walking past and he saw them take this black girl. She looked like she's 15, 16 years old. Put this metal thing on top of her head. Now, I quickly snapped a picture of it, right? Because I only had it up for like 5 minutes. 24 people had seen it, and this came from a different country. I only had it up for 5 minutes. It was gone, gone. But me and my friend sat there and went side by, slide by slide by slide, seeing what the hell was going on. And they made her hold this metal plate on her head, okay? And then they took this board and they hit her on top of the head. And then when they did that, the other guy punched her in the face a couple of times, which, okay, that killed her brain right there when they hit her on top of the head. That's like a form of torture
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
you brain, but you have the organs. So we actually witnessed that right there. And then the guy, when he hit her, he confused her brain even more when he hit her in the face. And then she was down there, she was in convulsions. I mean, her head going back. They were slapping her, they were dragging her. Like, that's the worst death. She was alive dying like that. This is what they do. And then they tell them that they're coming over to clean house or coming over to take care of children, not to be killed and their organs sold.
Yeah. Well,
Or,
we got the influx of Muslims from the eastern countries, from Syria, from Egypt, from Libya, and now we got Africans coming over. They're taking boats from North Africa over to Italy. Then Italy's putting them on buses and taking them up to Calais in northern France to come across to England. Because our government are stupid enough to feed them and house them, and we got to pay for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing I don't get. Well, Merkel, which is the one that runs Germany and all that, and a lot of the people that are running your country and stuff like that are all the deep state. And I hate to say it, but that's why everything's being so messed up. They hadn't got to ruin us yet. They had 8 more years. You see what I'm saying? To ruin us. That's why Hillary was supposed to win. That's why she had to win.
If
Had 8 more years.
Hillary won, we would have been well on the way. Because you look at the corruption you've got over there. Last time we talked, I talked about the Bundys. I followed that closely. And every day John Lamb would come out and do a little video for 20 minutes explaining what was happening in court. People weren't allowed to stand up and defend themselves. And you had 3 trials. The first 2 trials,
That's my tram train again.
I'll wait till the train goes past.
It goes past
They take some time to go past if you're waiting. They're quite long, aren't they?
Yes.
We waited when we were going around Arizona. We waited on a crossing, and it won't take long for the train to go past. And it must have been about, I don't know, miles long. It took about 20 minutes for it to go past.
I'm telling you, you just sit there and it just keeps going and going.
And we were thinking, and I looked down the track, and it was still coming.
But it's actually great for America right now because these trains weren't even coming by but once a week. Now they're coming by 4, 5, 8 times a day because Trump's got cold, and it's all cold. So
good.
The coal miners are back to work, like he promised. That was the second thing he did, and when he was in office, second day he opened back up the coal. Then he opened back up our own metal, companies and all of our wood companies and everything else, where we don't need we don't even need their shit anymore. We don't need nobody's stuff.
So you can actually see Trump's policy actually working on the ground there.
Oh yeah.
Which is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and it don't matter how much people fight it, or whatever. The economy just keeps growing and growing. The jobs just keep coming and coming. He keeps going around the world and proposing, how much to put in, to put into America. And they're coming by the billions, jobs are and stuff for Americans. And
Well, this wasn't supposed to happen. Like we said, Hillary was supposed to have got in, and they were supposed to. What they did is they've got computer models, and they run scenarios through the computer models. And we were all supposed to vote for Hillary or vote for the EU and all the rest of it. But the problem is, people don't. A friend of mine was a computer gamer, and he became a tester for computer games.
Mm-hmm.
And he got involved with ex-CIA and British Secret Service guys who were trying to figure out why people didn't react as the models predicted. The conclusion they came to was the people that made the models, the government and the modelers, were psychopaths. And they expected people to act like them.
Right, they were psychopaths, yeah.
So they expected everybody to be psychopaths. They didn't realise that in the end, we would cooperate, like we're talking now.
Right.
If we were psychopaths, we wouldn't.
Right. Right.
This is what they couldn't figure out.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out how to continue. Well, they tried the MK Mind Ultra programming, and they did a lot of that, and that was a lot through the industries and through, the modeling and through the, the movies and stuff. And that had a lot to do, with the American people, because we watched a lot of that stuff. So that did have a lot of programming on our brain. But then a lot of us, I think, we just became like, I've liked Trump since 1985, when he was on the Rich and Famous. But I just knew that he was what we needed. We needed a tough businessman. We needed someone that couldn't be bought. We needed someone that, wanted God in our life, wanted God in our schools. Because if we had that, we wouldn't have all this evil. We wouldn't, because they're following Satan. You see, everybody that you have to deal with right now, you're dealing with Satan just as well as we are, and it sucks.
Well, people here reckon that if you want to become an MP, you have to be blackmailable.
See, that's... And I believe it. I mean, that's the way it is. I believe it. I want to talk to you about something, okay? We're going to go to WikiLeaks that you sent me, okay? Yep. And it says from Mark Zuckerberg, date Friday, August 7th, 2015 at 10:23 a.m. to John Podesta. He's the worst pedivore in the world. Oh my gosh, made me almost want to puke in my mouth just saying his damn name. All right, let's hinder on there. John, I enjoyed spending time with you yesterday, and our conversation gave me a lot to think about. What? How you want to eat children? Rape them? That would be something that I would see them talking about.
Can I put a scenario in there that might fit?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say it, but it may imply it. We've been saying that the Russians have been trying to control the American election. They said that they were tampering with the machines. They then said they were helping Trump. Now, could it be... And now then we had the Analytica computer programmers that were taking the data from Facebook. Now, could it be possible that Facebook was giving the Democrats the information as well?
Yes, that's why he's going to prison.
That's what I think.
They actually went to North Korea, and they set up in North Korea. Our CIA, Google, YouTube, Facebook, everybody set up in North Korea. They set this whole thing up, and it actually did surveillance on the American people, which was me and the Americans and Trump administration, even in the White House.
Yeah.
And everything from from before when he started running to when he finally figured it out. When he was like, "I'm being wired. This is worse than Watergate. This is way worse than Watergate." If you ever heard of Watergate, I mean, Nixon had to stand down, but he was a pedivore as well. So this has been going on for years and years and years. This is disgusting. But see, the clowns in America, which is what we call them, the CIA, is the ones that actually created Facebook, okay? Mark Zuckerberg was just one of the kids that was Rothschild's child, number one, okay? So he was already in the cult,
Yeah.
and they just put his name on it, and that's what they do. They build something, and then they stick their kid on it and say, here, this is now you're going to run the country this way, And
When he was being interviewed by the Senate, was it the Senate committee?
Congress
Committee. He didn't seem that bright. He didn't seem to have the knowledge that he was talking about.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he couldn't even talk to you about like the algorithms and stuff. He was just. I will have to talk to that part of the team. Well, no, if you make something, that part of the team, But I knew it for a long time. Like I used to be with MySpace, and people kept saying, "Go to Facebook," and I never did. It was years. Like I've only been with Facebook like now 9 years. They've been out for quite some time. They've been out since 2003. I know of.
Well,
at least
I started on Facebook, and I started talking to all sorts of people all over the world, and it was great. And then they changed it. And I think they changed it because we were beginning to talk to each other.
Well, they changed it because of the election, because she was losing everything. They changed everything. I mean, I couldn't even put an American flag up without going to Facebook prison. Yeah. It was ridiculous, seriously. So I want to finish this real quick. It says,
"Yep."
He's talking to John. Okay, we're going to get through this email and then we'll discuss this. Okay. So he's talking to John. He says, John, I enjoyed spending time with you yesterday, and our conversation gave me a lot to think about. Thanks for sharing your experiences with CAP, and some of the choices you made as you put the organization together. I hope it's okay if I reach out as my thinking develops to get your ideas and reactions. If there are any other folks you think I should talk to, please let me know. Thanks again. I look forward to continuing our conversation. Mark, August 7th, 2015. When we were fighting so hard to put our American flags up, things like that.
What is CAP?
At that point,
What is CAP?
CAP, it's an organization of some sort. I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Experiences with capital?
Campaign for America?
Campaign? No.
I don't know.
Thanks for sharing your experiences with CAP.
Yeah, we'll have to find out what
Maybe you have to put CARE. CARE is the Islamic thing that they're all embedded together.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a mistype.
We'll have to find out. We can talk next time about that.
We actually need to do that.
More research needed. No doubt somebody out there will put a link or a comment on the video and explain it to us.
Yeah,
we can't know it all. I don't know it all. It's only what I've come across and what I've found out myself. And what I believe is right and what I believe is true. And I try and tell the truth as much as I can. You know?
Exactly. So on this, on this WikiLeaks.
Yeah, WikiLeaks, yeah.
Winky.
Yeah.
He would always come out and he'd say, now this is going to put Hillary in prison for life, or, this is definitely going to bring her. And it was just almost like the Q jobs are now. It was little
bits, yeah.
Little traces, little steps to get to where we are today. And it was just little eye openers, and WikiLeaks always says the truth. So it was kind of like dropping the same thing Q does.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, that WikiLeaks has come out with so much information. You had the Hillary emails
Yeah.
and the Podesta emails.
I bless his heart. Thank him so much for sacrificing himself for those
You
children.
know, um,
From all of these, he's the one that did all these emails. He's the one that sent them all.
and
He is.
yeah, yeah. If the email, as we say allegedly, if the emails are correct, then the lot of them should be in court asking questions of what they all do. But because the judiciary, as we've seen with sorry about going back to the Bundy thing again, but that just showed how corrupt the judiciary system is, because they've all been put in by the Clintons and the Bushes.
Right, exactly. Well, this one was put in by Reagan, and Mueller got his ass handed to him on Friday, and his team. I did that on my segment this morning. I'll have to actually play my segment over, or just send it to you. I have an MP3 file. I don't know if it'll send to you or not, but I have to figure out how to put it in a video or something, because it was one of my best shows ever today. Today I actually let loose and was myself, and I didn't just let them do the talking like I normally do, like everybody else. I actually was like doing my talking, my own research, my own thoughts.
It's got to be a two-way thing between us. I haven't got all the information, and you haven't got all the information.
No, that's why
we can make each other think, and hopefully people are listening to what we're saying and thinking, that's right. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Or, oh, is he really right? Let me do some research on that. People have got to go out and find out for themselves what's going on.
That is the main thing I always say. Don't take my advice. Go research it. Go look it up yourself. Go see. So then they can see it with their own eyes, and they'll make their own conclusion.
The other thing I used to listen to is there was a book. I'll rephrase that. There was a girl, Isaac Isaby, or whatever her name is, and she wrote a book called Dumbing Down America, about how the schools are being dumbed down.
Yeah.
And how the education system is not allowing people to flourish.
Yeah, no,
Right?
no. They even took away cursive handwriting.
Yeah, and
They brought it back, thank God. I couldn't imagine.
And now on the top of that, they've linked it with bullying in schools. They've now got gender.
I know. How do you have 58 genders? I mean, we have 2.
How many?
Female.
Oh,
58.
I thought it was 25.
No.
Oh, we're told it's 25 over here.
No, it's like 58, 63 of them, something like that. I mean, there's that many. Supposedly that's them. But I'll tell you what the Baphomet wants. Remember when we was talking about that? They want one sex, and that's it. Because the Baphomet has that goat's head and boobs and a man's body, and then they make each other have sex with each other, like I told you. That's the ritual, and they sodomize each other, because you cannot be an Illuminati without being sodomized, because it's your brain.
Yeah,
I told you.
that.
Okay, well, that's exactly what's going on. We're supposed to be all one sex.
Yeah, there was a video of a professor in a college in America, and she said that we are all one sex. And I was thinking, hang on a minute. She said there is no gender.
I know.
She was going, male and female share 99% of the genes. So they're the same.
No,
and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. What about your eye colour and your hair colour and your ears and your height, and your body shape? It might only be a small piece of DNA.
Yeah, different things.
But now, I'm not very religious, but the Bible says that there's male and female, and to go and multiply.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, they don't want us to multiply. They want to make babies they can eat, and then they want to eat us. I mean, I guess is their gender. I don't know. I'm getting scared I'm going to get ate, not in a good way, when I leave my house. These people are scary. Really, think
But
about
they're
it.
serious.
They're serious. They really
they
want to. They really drink the blood. They really get the high off of it. They really torture and
yeah.
pedophile and have sex, and they really have satanic rituals. I mean, this shit ain't shit you can make up. You can't even make this shit up because it's so freaking real. You know.
But they start off by being almost acceptable.
They keep telling everybody it's acceptable.
It's fairy dairyland. If that's a way to express it. That people are gay and people are lesbians, and there's man love and female love, and then there's this love and that love, and boys can wear dresses, and there's a book in the school library about Tommy's new dress or something like that, and you know, and Sally's now out digging ditches, you know.
It is.
Fair enough.
I
I'm
just
all for
look around.
equality. If somebody is physically capable of doing something, if a girl wants to drive a truck, no problem. I got no problems with that. I got no problems with males cooking. What I have got a problem with is putting it down to gender.
Exactly. And you know, I was talking about this the other day. I was saying, even if you go and you get a sex change, because this is what they want, right? And so I become a man, you become a woman. When we die or they do our DNA or anything, we're still going to come out a woman and a man,
Yeah.
whether it doesn't matter what we have, right? You know, what we've made ourselves into. When you die, you're going to die whatever you was born. You know, I mean, and if you had to do DNA or something, it's going to show up as a man. I mean,
but what you've got is you've got male and female, but I know that there are a few people that are.
They say they're hermaphrodites.
Born with
No, they say a lot of them are. There's a lot, and that's where some of this stuff comes from. Is hermaphrodites.
Yeah.
That's what that Baphomet is. A hermaphrodite.
I know some people are born like that. You can't help that.
No.
They may have problems understanding which gender they want to be.
Well, that would be a little bit different.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
But 99.99999 recurring of the human population is either male or female. Full stop.
I say I'm tired of hearing there's 57 ways to cut off your dick. I'm just sick of it because there's not.
Oh no.
And that's all this gender shit is.
It's you can't.
Ways to cut off your dick.
It at the moment.
It's 57 ways to cut off your dick. That's all it is. I mean, right? You're either going to be a woman or a man, so it's 57 ways you can cut it off. Either you can act like it's cut off and still wear it, or you can have it cut off and not have it, and then you can have it changed. And it's 57 ways to cut off your dick. It doesn't matter either way.
Well, how do they stick it back on then? If you want to go the other way,
I guess they just put it back on, make it look the same. I don't know.
I'm talking about making females male.
I
How
know.
does that work?
They stretch it out and stuff.
Oh.
They turn it inside out.
I don't want to know. I've got enough. That's too much information. Can we talk about something different? I've had enough of this.
But we have to throw a joke in there once in a while, even because it's so monotonous. But this shit is just too stupid. I mean, really, you know, like I said, 57 ways to cut off your balls. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. And that's just I mean, there's just, I pray and I hope to God that after this next 5 years, and it's great, and we get our life back and Satan out and all this craziness gone again, I pray that when the kids get their textbooks, this history is actually written in there, that at one time people thought they had 57 genders. You know what I'm saying? Like at one time, people were so confused, they didn't know whether they wanted to shoot up schools because other people were telling them to so that they could take away guns, you know, from us. this stuff is what we're witnessing right now is history. History.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
future proves the past.
Okay.
The future
Yeah.
proves
Have you heard of
the past.
common purpose?
Common purpose?
Yeah.
Yes. I believe, like, if I would say what a common purpose is I feel like radio is a common purpose for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No.
Because,
I'm. There's a management system that we've got here that
mhm.
yeah.
Trump train's back. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I told you 8 or 9 times.
I'm waiting for it to cool down a little bit over there. Right.
The train tracks are on fire today,
Yeah.
baby.
We've got something over here called Common Purpose Graduates, and it's a management system to train managers to manage people, and it's all linked in with the EU and what you would call the New World Order, and it's called Common Purpose. Cameron was trying to sell it to India before he left office. It's communism. It's everybody's got to think the same. The same as we were talking about the progressives going into schools, and you've got Common Core in your schools, and you've now got the gender equality in your schools, which is linked to lesbians and gays.
Right, which is
And
linked to Satan.
a kid of
That's
5
what
or
it is.
6 can decide whether he's gay or not. Well, how crazy can you get? They've not even matured.
Exactly.
Right?
But
Well,
if you look at all the
linked
minorities,
with
it
common
makes
purpose.
them think that they're gay.
Yeah,
It makes them question whether they're gay or not because
yeah,
all this mind control that they're doing, and they're showing that this is. But the way that it started was that man-boy love I told you about.
yeah,
It was to bring pedophilia over here.
yeah,
It wasn't supposed to be for 2 men and 2 women. It was not
yeah,
supposed to be that way. It was actually boy love, and it was 20 centuries ago or
yeah.
something, you know. But they could never get it over here to where we would accept it like that, you know. But now, what do they have? LGBTQP.
Oh, it's expanded, has it?
Oh, it's queer and pedophile or
As well.
pedophile. It's a pedophile that doesn't act on his impulses.
Oh, you're gonna be joking.
No, I'm not joking at all. And the
Well,
LGBT is
it's
them.
like. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna have a rant now. It's like those priests that
Yeah,
say I'm gay, but I don't act on it.
yeah,
They're screwing little boys. Get that
yeah.
one then. And it was all
Well,
the
they're
Catholic Church.
they're
And they
they're,
were in
they're
the Catholic Church and they were
yeah.
hiding it.
Well, they've
It was
been
going on in Ireland. It was going on here. It was going on in children's homes.
yeah. It's been going on everywhere because the Catholic actually is with Satan. They actually worship Satan, and that's sad because there is people that are really good that are Catholic and they think they're following God and they're not. You know, that's not Mary. That's not Mary's son. That's Lucifer's wife and Lucifer's son, Tomatori or whatever his name is. And then you see all the babies on the walls and stuff because that's what they do. They eat babies. You know, I mean, that's what it's all about. And go look at the Star of David and all of that, and you know the light around it. He's not the light. You know, God. You know, our heavenly Father is the light, the Son of God. You know, that's the light. And people, they just took it and twisted it. I did a story one time on Confessions of a Nun. Oh my God, you've got to go and listen to that. You would love it. Sister Charlotte is her name, okay? She was there for 22 years, and she will tell you things that would just blow your mind on how
Right.
these
Let me
people
tell you
are.
something else I was told. Now, I was young. I was still at school. And I told you the local Baptist church we used to go to, where I used to do Sunday school when I was really young.
Hmm.
And I'm Church of England. That's where I was
Right.
baptised, and we got the main Church of England. But I've been to Baptist schools and Protestant churches all the way around. But one priest, when I was started work, and you start talking about theology and people, and you'd start talking about the differences between religions. One priest, Protestant priest, told me that we don't do communion. And I said, why? Because the Catholics do communion. They take the bread, and that's the body of Christ, and they take the wine, which is supposed to be the blood of Christ. And he said, that's cannibalism. I let him go in, hang on a minute.
Wait, you didn't know that? That's in it's in my Bible, but I'm trying to think of exactly where to find it. I don't know if it's Luke 4:26 or something like that, but it talks about how do not eat. It says it. Do not eat it says the wicked eat, it says because the wicked eat it's in Acts, I think. The wicked eat the bread and they drink the wine. And when I read that, I thought that they drink the blood, but what is the wine? That's got to be the body of Christ. That's got to be the body. So it's in the Bible, the bread and the wine. The wine is, because I had that girl tell me about it, the blood fest is their wine fest. It's called their wine fest. So I knew that wine was blood. And then I was thinking the bread had to be the body, which would mean cannibalism.
But I was told that 40 years ago.
Really? I just read it.
Yeah.
I just found it. That is crazy.
Yeah, I was told that and that was the Protestant religion demonizing the Catholic Church, I thought. Now I'm beginning to believe that was part of the problem.
Yeah, they were telling the truth. They were telling you guys the truth.
Betty, I've got a problem.
What is it?
My battery on my laptop's just about to run out. It was.
Oh, that's okay. We've been on for about 57 minutes.
It's fully charged and it's dying of death. We are going to have to do this again.
Yes, we'll do it again next week. We'll try to do it about once a week, and we'll do it like this and do it at this time because I think it's perfect for both of us. Actually, it is for me. And that way I can put it on my show that night and then possibly the next morning. Okay. And then you can have it on your YouTube and stuff.
Okay. And now then, have you got this recorded?
Yeah, it's recorded, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will do it as a video.
That would be awesome.
And I've got my new program will switch from one head to the other. So you're small in the middle and then you're big in the middle, you know.
Hey!
So I'm hoping that I've pressed the buttons right.
I didn't press mine right, I guess, evidently trying to record.
Anyway, thank you very much for interviewing me.
Thank you for letting me interview you. I had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to talk again. Mwah.
We've got to talk about gun control because I think what we've got is what the American anti-gun lobby wants in America.
Yes.
And I'll explain how our gun system works, and hopefully you don't get it next time.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
That's what we're doing with the warning. The warning. Light our torch. Light our torch. Okay. Well, thanks so much. And
that's all right, Becky. Brilliant.